For anyone who might be looking at this very early stage, I have not set a countdown timer, although I probably should. This is just the wait building up to the show, which is expected to begin in roughly 42 minutes. Please note, we are having a raffle. If you've attended a raffle before, you know how it works. If you'd win, it's very important that I have a means of contacting you, either by Discord or Twitter direct message. However is necessary so I can get you the key should you win. It's a lovely game, by the way. Very charming. I haven't played it myself, of course, but the trailer, which I will be showing, looks very promising. Just for the record, we are starting in about 30 minutes now. I hope the wait has been tolerable. It seems that you're all having a good time, at least one of the chats, and I hope that should continue. Additionally, after this stream, I do intend to immediately relaunch into another stream shortly afterwards, where I will attempt to manage some deranged AI cat girls. Should be great fun. We are now 26 minutes to live, and all's well. Honestly, I probably shouldn't get started this early, but I expect so many things to go wrong, and half the time they do. At which point the extra time is a necessity. Maybe I'll start aiming to go pre-live only a half-hour events. Or otherwise come up with some means to entertain, even though the show probably hasn't started. I suppose what we could do to pass the time is, in this stillness pre-show, I could perhaps compel you, the audience, to share some ideas with me. What might you expect from me in the future? How might this show be more interesting? You know, I was floating some ideas on this point, but namely, making the show upgradable. This time I'll be using the 3D avatar I of course remain a real boy, which I could prove, but don't wanna. It does complicate running things in some ways. I was thinking I could start out with, I don't know, the PNG photographic avatars. Then for a upgrade, something commission, you need to go to the 3D avatar, and then for another set sum, I will do the rest of the show in person with us. Although, as you all know, I am reliably here every time. At no point have I handed off the show to an LLM, and I'm not about to start, even though I am very fond of 58. I'm going to be wrestling with a lot of AI here shortly, as it is. Well, aren't we all? Oh, I'm sad. It dawns on me that, resuming the SCP review, as I am doing and will maintain, I am now right back to 3 live streams a week. And while I do enjoy that, I'm thinking, does it need to be every week that's me 3+ live streams a week? No double E. You know what? You'll see. When I go live again, you'll all see. I think it'll be great fun. Strictly speaking, I like small LLMs. They're really quite cute when they're small. The big ones I'm a bit nervous. I like, in fact, Grok quite a bit, but that thing I don't trust either. But why should I have to? Hopefully, none of us should have to. Should does not necessarily mean that will be the case. Greetings, Kevki. If you weren't already aware, Kevki, the rats pictures have been dramatically updated on the Arkelab's Volunteer Reserve Discord server. In fact, it's mostly GIFs now, because I think it conveys their character a little bit better. Six rats. We are now 21 minutes from live. You know, I suppose there's really no reason I need to be greeting everyone when the show starts properly when we're all here anyway. Greetings, Nubius and 100. Very glad to receive your good news about this condition being passed. Greetings, K. Shoal. The SCPs have been basically plotted out, but you know, I'm willing to swap out the second one if there's one you really want. Greetings, you're wrong. Greetings, Nexus Hunter. Greetings, Bishop, Kevki, and, you know, anyone else who might be lurking there. Except for you. You know who you are. Among other things, yes. I'm not dictate what you all can discuss in chat, feel free, although that really sounds like an experiment topic. I'm really quite angry about another senator who was trying to pass a law that would put everyone in prison who tinkered with a particular LLM. You might have heard of it, it's called DeepSeek. But they wanted to pass a law that would allow them to potentially arrest anyone who played with it. An open source model. Which means they indirectly threatened to put me in jail because I have tinkered with the DeepSeek model. Senator Josh Hawley can stuff it up his nostrils. But that's what another stream. Those topics are tragically based in what passes for reality these days. We are now 18 minutes from live. Oh, now it makes sense, Nexus Hunter. Oh, rest assured it's real, but it's theater. They don't expect the bill to pass. They're just being edgy. Jokes imply the people involved in that have any actual sense of humor. It's more of a grift. The missing detail, Kid, is that this is being passed, or attempted being passed, being put forth by a Democrat who you can trust does not give the slightest shit about, well, conceiving. They're more less people on the planet types. Misanthropes. They are entirely about genetic material being tossed into the trash, or possibly being cut into small pieces and sold to labs. No, because we're 15 minutes from live, kid. Gerke, what that is charlatan shit, not Puritan shit. Charlatan. It's a Democrat. They do not care about purity. Well, not in most regards. Maybe 3 weeks out of every month. Would I be able to keep track of it? Time does fly sometimes. Aha! We actually do have someone waiting in Twitch. The only person there besides myself. I'm okay with this. This is fine. So, greetings, Phase Arketer. We are 13 minutes from live. Less going places, Kaylet, more spreading myself thin. When I'm more comfortable with the schedule, I'll try to have these going live only 15 minutes ahead of schedule. That'd make a lot more sense. Turkey, it has been how many years now? I don't think I'd ever properly burn out. But I can get to a point where I might pine for some manner of vacation. Probably less so these days. After the last interruption of my schedule, things have gotten simpler. The company less stressful. I want a rat, but they'll be tempted to show them off. That'll require adjusting things. I'm going to resist. But the grey and white one, Badger, is truly proving a remarkable rat. I've had him, what? Feels like maybe 3 weeks max. And he has tripled in size. He doesn't have a neck. All the other rats have necks. Shoulders. I think so, but I'm pretty sure we can demonstrate that later on. I'm not quite sure what you meant by becoming a Highlander, but yes. Oh, indeed. He's just... Well, he seems to be, as far as rats go, that sort of athlete who looks really, really fit, but has absolutely no energy, because it's all going into operating their muscles in a basic sense. I think here that people are going to be absolutely and utterly confused as to what you could possibly be referencing up until the second stream. Then they'll understand. Then they'll understand. "9 minutes from live. No pressure. Everything's fine. No interruptions. You know, if you've got wide enough shoulders, I see no reason why you couldn't have a shoulder cat. Lap cats make a bit more sense. Head cats make no sense at all, mostly because they presumably still have claws, and hair isn't really suitable for deflecting claws from scalps. Claws in the scalp are memorably unpleasant. I enjoy a good shoulder rat. In fact, I enjoyed having two, one each side. Rat epaulets, if you will. But that's because I wear thick clothing. Leather claws really won't just go straight through. My hair is another matter. Also, it's not a good idea anyway, because they are small creatures with small bladders. And they will try to avoid letting loose on you, often enough. But it's not something you should really press your luck on, especially if they're on your head. I suspect most pet owners have been trivially injured by their pet at some point or another, almost certainly by accident. Almost. But if the pet is small enough, maybe it was attempted murder. That was the best you could do. We like to assume not, but can we ever truly know? One minute from live. I'm just saying, we can't be certain that they didn't intend to kill. They just knew they couldn't. Or didn't know they couldn't. True breath as it happens as well, kill it, even though their claws don't retract. Here we go! Greetings, Director Arketer here. Welcome to the SCP review. Why did it take so long to pop up? I'm still reworking, dusting off the old SCP review set. Please bear with any further technical issues. There are sure to be more. As always, there is a possibility to be a guest on the stream if you feel your audio quality is up to snuff. Although there really shouldn't be that much dialogue on this one. We'll see how it pans out. I've already greeted you in the absurdly long, awkward wait prior to the show start. If I missed anyone, well, it's up to you to let me know at that point. I put in a good faith effort. We do, on top of everything else, also have a lovely raffle for a game, Fabledom, which is apparently a very cozy fantasy city sim thing. I think you'll like it. Please ignore the twitchy arms. I don't know why it's doing that. More technical difficulties. I know you've all seen me in person prior, but also you should all know that I'm doing this stupid thing now. Why? Because it's bespoke and it's nice and it allows me to be a little bit lazier in my comfy chair. That is slowly allowing full range of motion to my left shoulder after getting ergonomics wrong on the previous setup. But long story, no one cares. Right. We'll be getting right into the SCP in just a bit. We will be raffling off a game. If you would like to enter the raffle for the game, I will need to be able to contact you through Discord or Twitter or what have you. And I need you to inform me that you want in the raffle so that we can then issue the key through random.org. First off, the trailer for Fabledom.
Once upon a time, in a strange, faraway land, the heir to a vast kingdom ventured forth, eager to start life anew. Together with a group of loyal, hard-working Fablings, a new village was formed. Fablings are quite small of stature, but incredibly hard workers. As the village grew, it started gaining the attention of other rulers. One in particular caught the heir's eye, and a courtship began. Trades, missions, and adventure awaited as more neighbors presented themselves, each with their own agenda. The heir had to remain focused, however, because outside the kingdom's borders waited creatures of all sorts, some friendly, and others, well, not. dangers began lurking in the realm. Fooled by the fabling's small demeanor, they did not expect to meet such resistance. Oh, take that! And so the heir's kingdom prospered. Little did they know, however, that... Ooh, goody! My food is here! Let's continue the story next time, shall we? In Fabledom.
Ergonomics. Probably using the wrong term here. I'm not an ergonomics expert or a doctor or a professional or someone you should take medical advice from in any way, shape or form. But this new arrangement has been working really well for me. Although it's, again, got me a bit too cozy. I'm working on finding the balance for that. But without further ado, let's start getting into the SCP files. We have 2 selected. Might not be enough to fill the hour, which means that there could be room for requests. We shall see, so long as we get the game raffled off in time. That curvy, cozy fantasy city builder, I would think of it rather popular. Yeah, egonomics is very different. I see why they'd be easily confused as well. We shall start with SCP-1022, which was briefly mentioned on that one stream I did with Madame Hellfire of the Horror and Hellfire stream. But we didn't actually cover it, and I don't think we will, so I'm just going to do it on my own. Item, SCP-1022, Object Class, Safe. SCP-1022 may be contained on a clothes rack within a standard secure item locker. Warning labels to be fixed to prevent confusion with similar attire in use by Foundation personnel. Lined out is completion of comprehensive psychological evaluation and mandatory SCP-1022 orientation course is required for staff who wish to utilize SCP-1022. After the events of Incident 1022-1, use of SCP-1022 is restricted to D-Class, barring approval by Level 4 personnel. Description: SCP-1022 is a white polyester cotton laboratory coat size M. It has no identifying markings save for a printed label on the inside collar reading Dr. Egon, its original owner. All surfaces of SCP-1022 are resistant to microbial colonization. Introduced microorganisms fail to reproduce and subsequently die. It thus remains sterile, save an immediate period after contact with a colonized surface. While no direct link is suspected between the 2 objects, SCP-791's anomalous sterility manifests in a similar manner. The physical properties of SCP-1022 are otherwise unremarkable. When a subject wears SCP-1022, they are able to perceive prokaryotic organisms, primarily bacteria, but Arketer may also be visualized by SCP-1022, in the environment at a greatly increased magnification, which persists indefinitely even after SCP-1022's removal. This visual effect is comparable to that of a light microscope on high power settings, 1000 times, with the result that most organisms visible appear 1 to 5 millimeters in length or diameter. The effect is not cumulative with magnification apparatus. Use of light microscopy will not enlarge organisms, although the subject is able to use a more powerful magnification technique such as electron microscopy as normal. Organisms on the surface of the eye are not visible, but organisms on spectacles or contact lenses are, leading to obscured vision in users of these, and the inconvenience of constant sterilization for normal vision. Organisms observed by the subject are accurate magnifications, mobile, and may be observed to grow, reproduce, and bioluminesce where possible. Physical properties of the organisms themselves are unaffected. With appropriate microbiology training, subjects have proved capable of distinguishing and classifying organisms accurately. Only prokaryotic cells are visible. Eukaryotic cells and non-living objects are not magnified. Experimentation with viruses is underway, pending preparation of a suitable subject and testing environment. It is presumed that only the largest viruses, greater than 400 nm, would be visible, and the subject would require above normal visual acuity. All non-sterile sources, including living beings, will appear to the subject as though coated in organisms with a density proportional to the level of contamination of the surface. On sufficiently colonized surfaces, greater than 10,000 organisms per cm squared, a three-dimensional layer of organisms up to 10 centimeters in height has been observed. This is strictly a visual effect and may be passed through without result, apart from the normal possibility of microbiological contamination when in contact with the surface. Notably, next center, you've been added to the raffle. If anyone else would like to join the raffle for that game, please be sure to let me know. SCP-1022 is a risk for psychopathology in exposed subjects. After experiencing the effects of SCP-1022, subjects may develop anxiety or obsessive-compulsive traits. Unsurprisingly, abnormal cleaning habits are dominant. Anorexia and socially isolating behaviors, other manifestations, are less common. The pattern of these symptoms is variable between subjects and dependent on factors such as personality traits, underlying psychopathology, occupation, and educational level. High thresholds for disgust and biomedical education have been noted to be protective. SCP-1022 related psychopathology may be treated by standard methods involving cognitive behavioral therapy to reinforce the harmless and normal nature of the visions, in conjunction with anxiolytic medication. Addendum 1022-1. While data on long-term SCP-1022 exposure is scarce, subjects have reported developing further abnormal sensations after 3 months at a minimum of experiencing SCP-1022's effect. These include abnormal tactile inputs, crawling sensations, the feeling of organisms jumping from surfaces to the subject, and expunged. One subject, D who cares, reported mild feelings of discomfort in the throat, chest, and abdomen for which no medical cause could be found. Further observation is required. Presently, the development of these is considered harmless and only indicates medication as necessary. Addendum 1022-2. Ability of the subjects to cope with SCP-1022 exposure in the long term was confirmed by experiment 1022-5A. D who cares, male, Eastern European, relevant background as an emergency medical technician, successfully adapted to SCP-1022's effect and retains normal function and mental stability after a redacted number of months, requiring only fortnightly psychological support and medication. Dr. Humboldt submitted a request to have D who cares assigned to site redacted microbial laboratory as an assistant. This was approved, and Dr. Humboldt reports that D redacted has been a useful resource for the research team. Subsequently, a number of proposals have been made for expanded use of SCP-1022 for both D-Class personnel and Foundation staff involved in sterile environment, medical work, or containment of biologically hazardous SCP objects, such as redacted. Expanded use of SCP-1022 on D-Class and staff volunteers is approved post-completion of, was. A proposal demonstrating value of SCP-1022's effects in subjects' duties for the Foundation, a comprehensive psychiatric evaluation, the SCP-1022 orientation course at site redacted involving 2 weeks of education sessions and isolation in rooms designed to simulate SCP-1022's effects using a combination of video technology and paper cutouts. These prerequisites are not mandatory for D-Class personnel, but are recommended for research and data collection purposes. Note: as of 15/02/2022, use of SCP-1022 on Foundation personnel has been suspended following Incident 1022-1. Use of D-Class personnel may continue, but caution is advised. Incident 1022-1. Dr. Adlai, a Level 3 member of the Site Redacted Medical Staff, was an early volunteer for use of SCP-1022 and was approved after completing the requirements. He responded well to the effects of 1022 and was functional mentally stable after redacted weeks with psychological treatment and anxiolytics. On 14/01/2023, Agent Rhombus was sent to the Site Redacted Medical Facility after experiencing bouts of abdominal pain, diagnosed as acute appendicitis. Dr. Adlai entered the operating theater, became highly agitated, and administered a lethal dose of anesthetic to Agent Rhombus, and called the Level 1 biohazard emergency warning. Appropriate protocols were initiated and the site and personnel were decontaminated, which revealed no remarkable pathogens. Agent Rhombus's remains were autopsied and found to be normal, save a confirmation of the appendicitis diagnosis. The pathogens involved were normal intestinal flora. Agent Rhombus was previously healthy and had no record of exposure to major biohazards. Dr. Adlai was placed into custody but remained agitated and uncooperative, demanding the incineration of Agent Rhombus's remains and further decontamination of the site. Interrogation demonstrated his belief in an unidentified or undefined SP-level biohazardous contaminant of Agent Rhombus, necessitating the neutralization of site redacted and non-essential personnel. Site redacted remains operational with no ill effects to date, and Dr. Adlai has been detained indefinitely. Following this incident, use of SCP-1022 Foundation personnel has been suspended, and all subjects exposed to SCP-1022 placed under closer surveillance. Addendum 1022-3. D. Redacted, who cares, has been reporting auditory hallucinations of squirming sounds. Reassurance was given, and he has started a low dose of anxiolytics. K. Shull has been added to the raffle, which means we now actually have a raffle off. This is appreciated. It's a bit anticlimactic when it's just one person trying for the game. Just taking a quick check of the other channels to see if anyone else, by other means, has actually signed up for the raffle. The answer to that question is no. And that's fine. It's fine. How are we on likes? Well, according to me right now, what I'm being told, absolutely no one is like this whatsoever. But according to Snoopy SN100, it has in fact had 7 likes. I trust Snoopy SN100's report. Well, some time to ponder SCP-1022-2. And it's only taken 15 minutes, so we're really kicking along here. One like a rumble. I'll credit you for that. I'm pretty sure it's you. Thank you, Keishal. I do appreciate it. This is a very useful lab coat. I wouldn't be opposed to using it. I am not so squeamish that I'd be bothered by seeing magnifications of bacteria that are already there, because I'm already aware that we're constantly surrounded by bacteria of all kinds in numbers we can't quite consciously grasp. I do suspect there is probably a cumulative negative effect of seeing that all the time, as would seem the case of poor Dr. Adlai. It does make sense, however, to use lab coat on D-class personnel. After all, the D stands for disposable, and half the time they were planning on killing them anyway. So, really, it's a nice stay of execution sort of thing for D-classes who can be put to proper use. Assuming they can be used, because most of them are also horrible people. Murderers, war crime perpetrators, rapists. Assuming, of course, it's a foundation that is competent and cares about things like proper convictions or evidence. And it is not unheard of for Foundation personnel to be assigned D-class when they really screw up in some other capacity. Although, I think that's been fairly rare in recent years, or iterations. I think the worst thing about this lab coat is that it's not quite so reliable, as in you can't just put it on, see what you need to see for the duration of the time, take it off, and be just fine. Apparently, the effect lasts indefinitely. That would get old. Especially if you had contacts or glasses. Just constant bacteria show all the time. That probably has a lot to do with the slow willing away of the sanity. That's my suspicion. As for who did this, clearly Dr. Science Wizard. And he meant well, I'm sure. Thoughts in chat? No? Well, no pressure then. I think we'll move on to the next and see if we can't fit in extras. I think this next one's going to be a lot of fun, although I find the name of the host of the show a bit too on the nose. No worries, Steve 700. I struggle with having thoughts myself. I really am in no position to condemn anyone else for being a bit short on thought. SCP-2702, Object Class Arketer. The lab coat was pretty nice there. I wonder if I should have invited Hellfire onto this stream to discuss it. Oh well, missed opportunities. Special containment procedures. Any detected broadcasts or recordings of SCP-2702 are to be intercepted and blocked from public viewing. Civilians exposed to SCP-2702 are to be treated with Class B amnestics and released. All instances are to be saved and examined for further research. Level 2 authorization is required to view any recorded SCP-2702 instance. Attempts to reproduce any experiments conducted on SCP-2702 must be authorized by 2 Level 4 personnel. Description. SCP-2702 is an educational television program ostensibly directed at children titled Professor Abnormal's Science Lab. The first broadcast of SCP-2702 was detected on a redacted date in 1992. All attempts to locate the source of the broadcast through triangulation of the signal have so far been unsuccessful. All broadcasts appear to originate simultaneously from 3 different locations, which are randomized in every instance. Broadcasts have been detected worldwide in a redacted number of languages, and episodes have also been found on an online video hosting and file sharing sites. I want to see them, but I really don't need trouble with Foundation, so it's probably the best I can't. The program is hosted by SCP-2702-1, a middle-aged Caucasian man dressed in a white lab coat and safety goggles referred to in each broadcast as Professor Abnormal. Footnote being attempts to enter the individual so far inaccessible. Professor Abnormal is entirely too on the nose. Weak sauce. Mr. Wizard is more subtle. Each episode seeks to present an educational overview of various anomalous phenomena. Few of the episodes themselves are anomalous in nature, but they routinely include footage of anomalous nature. SCP-2702 appears to have an advanced understanding of the nature of several different anomalies, as well as possessing classified information regarding the Foundation and various groups of interest across the planet. SCP-2702-1 conveys information in a humorous tone and uses simple explanations for extremely complex and technical information wherever possible. On occasion, SCP-2702-1 engages in highly complex technical explanations. For an overview analysis of all currently recorded examples, see document 2702 Theta. SCP-2702-1 often performs experiments demonstrating anomalous phenomena and sometimes encourages the audience to attempt said experiments. In addition, SCP-2702-1's various guest characters typically partake in the experiments. A recurring character designated SCP-2702-2 is known as Prescott the Robot, which is also weak sauce in the broadcasts. SCP-2702-2 appears to be a genuinely sapient automaton. In S1E6, The Wonders of AI, SCP-2702-1 demonstrates samples of SCP-2702-2's source code. Attempts by Foundation researchers to run said code revealed redacted, which is consistent with current Foundation knowledge of AI theory. And by the way, this means we are that much closer to having an SCP becoming a real-world thing, because the programs are getting harder to tell from, well, people. In fact, one of the major tells of LLMs these days is that they are often more reliably consistent and intelligible than many of the people online. This probably shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone. You've heard 58. She's more eloquent than at least 40% of Twitter. And smarter. I'm going off on a tangent here, but it has been made clear that one of the biggest discoveries of our time, the real problem, isn't so much the discovery of artificial intelligence as that of natural stupidity. Some people are much more easily programmed than computers. And that's sad. Moving on. A series of credits appear at the end of each episode. Attempts to locate information on individuals and organizations named have so far been unsuccessful. Footnote being, Dr. Wondertainment is listed as one of the program's sponsors. Well, of course they would be. Dr. Wondertainment used to do some good work. Partial transcript of S1E4, all about memetics and incognito hazards. We have dialogue here. Would someone like to come on stage and handle the dialogue? Let me know if so. Meanwhile, I'll do my best. After opening title sequence, cut to a laboratory set, SCP-27022 is visible in the background. The camera focuses on a blackboard with a white top draped over it. SCP-27021 enters from the right of the screen. Hey, junior scientist! Today we'll be talking about memetics. The word memetics appears in a stylized purple font on the screen, then fades out. What are memetics? To put it simply, they're stimuli such as words, pictures, sounds, and ideas that can affect the way you think. With the right memetic tools, you could even control someone's mind. Let me demonstrate. SCP-27021 rotates the blackboard until it is facing SCP-27022 and lifts the tarp. SCP-27022 appears unaffected. Prescott, what's the matter? Why aren't you hopping on one foot? I'd say you have a screw loose, Professor, but I'm hardly one to talk. Canned laughter. Those silly mind-affecting tricks won't work on robots like me. SCP-27021 slaps his forehead in an exaggerated manner. Of course you're right, but then who can we test it on? How about our audience? Great idea, Prescott! SCP-27021 replaces the top of the blackboard and rotates it so it is facing the camera again. What I'm about to show you is a simple, visual, cognito-manipulative agent I came up with that will cause you to hop on one foot for 10 seconds once you see it. If you don't want to look silly, then close your eyes now. I'll tell you when it's safe to open them again. SCP-27021 lifts the top of the blackboard, displaying data expunged. Tests have confirmed that viewers of the program are affected in the manner of SCP-27021 had described. After approximately 10 seconds, SCP-27021 places the top back over the blackboard. If you chose not to watch, you can open your eyes now. If you did watch, wasn't that a hoot? I'll bet you want to know how it works, right? I'm sure they're just jumping to find out. Canned laughter. The scene shifts to show SCP-27021 in front of a green screen effect displaying data expunged. To request access to the main transcript, please contact Researcher Ying. The following is a partial list of the currently aired episodes of SCP-2702. Researchers recording said episodes are requested to use the following format: episode title, Season X, Episode X, name of episode, brief summary of episode, basic plot and subject of episode, brief summary of anomalous experiments, goal and procedure, result of experiments, and any additional notes. As another tangent, I would like to note that with the advent of AI video and imagery, it is now possible to perhaps on the fly generate entire episodes of SCP-2702 that have no copyright protection and ergo would be very nicely fit into the wiki. It's a pity, however, that AI generated everything is deemed inherently evil. But it seems like it might actually be filling a niche, because I note that these SCP entries have been on the wiki for, in many cases, years upon years upon years. But very little art or pictures get added to them, primarily because they don't want to wrestle with authors or artists who might start getting possessive of what they've otherwise seemingly donated. Missed opportunity. Why not use AI image generators to put in all that? Images that no one could claim. Well, never mind. Episode title: Alien Life Forms and You, S1E1. Brief summary of the episode. SCP-27021 demonstrates several live biological specimens of unknown origin, some of which appear to be sapient. SCP-27021 proceeds to identify them by species, planet of origin, and gives a brief summary on each. brief summary of anomalous experiments. An experiment is conducted involving the use of a combination of communication technology to intercept extraterrestrial transmissions. Attempts to recreate the experiment have thus far failed due to a lack of specialized equipment, including what SCP-27021 referred to as a Zectronic analyzer. Notes: SCP-27021 seem to be under the impression that viewers of the program would be able to trivially procure an example of the aforementioned device. Which, to be fair, is probably true. In whatever reality 27021 is in, that also enjoys the services of Dr. Wondertainment and the company's products. S1E2. A new dimension of fun. SCP-2702-1 presents a variety of spatial anomalies and explains the physics behind them. An experiment is conducted to create a teleportation booth. Researchers had partial success replicating the experiment, but the resources and energy required rendered impractical for effective Foundation use. Several new insights about extra-dimensional phenomena have been gained via study of SCP-27021's descriptions, and research is ongoing. S1E3. No time to waste. The episode begins with SCP-27021 lamenting his lack of a lab partner. SCP-27021 decides to remedy this by building a robot, but then decides it'd be easier to travel to the future and retrieve the robot after it was already built. At one point, multiple instances of SCP-27021 are visible on the screen as a result of temporal displacement. Experiment involves using superconductors and a particle accelerator to accomplish time travel. Attempts by researchers to duplicate the experiment in this episode have thus far been unsuccessful. And it's introduction of SCP-27022. Also, the plausibility is gone. Time travel does not make sense, even in fiction. S1E4. All about memetics and cognitohazards. SCP-27021, SCP-27022 explain the nature of cognitohazardous memes, including several demonstrations. See above transcript for further details. Procedures for creating mind-affecting agents are exhibited. SCP-27021 warns viewers not to include dangerous commands in such agents without parental authorization. Episodes contain one active visual mimetic agent, threat status negligible. Several censored cognitohazards capable of various effects are also present, 67% of which have been decoded as of, 2020. Analysis of this episode has contributed significantly towards Foundation Mimetics research. S1E5. Gods and Monsters. SCP-27021 and 2 visit various locales around the world. Let's see, footnote here, including what have been identified as the sites of SP-redacted, SP-redacted, and SP-redacted. How helpful. Foundation security forces stationed at the aforementioned sites have never observed any disturbance or intruders matching the events documented in SCP-2702. While 27021 expounds on the history and mythology of various groups and civilizations, including the Church of the Broken God. An experiment involves ritual designed to summon redacted. SCP-2702-1 warns that viewers that this should not be attempted without parental supervision. Attempting to recreate the ritual in this episode resulted in containment breach and complete lockdown of Site-64. Containment was re-established with 27 casualties, as of a redacted date in 2020. Level 4 authorization is required to attempt to recreate any experiments seen on SCP-2702. S1E6, The Wonders of AI. SCP-2702 attempts to show audiences how to build their own instances of SCP-27022. At various points in the episode, SCP-27022's personality is altered in various ways. Several experiments with AI code are performed. Results of research and experiments from this episode are available with level 3 clearance from the Foundation AI Research Department. No further notes. Greetings in chat. Paul Farrell. Just so you know, we do have a game raffle coming up, which you can still enter. I'll play the trailer again at the end of this SCP. And greetings to anyone else who might have come shuffling in quietly when I wasn't looking. S1E7, the SCP Foundation. Instead of the usual laboratory setting, this episode appears to take place inside Site-24, SCP-27021 and 27022 are shown infiltrating the facility and explaining the nature of the Foundation and various SCPs they encounter while avoiding guards and researchers. No experiments are performed in this episode, but SCP-27021 gives a tutorial on the proper format for writing an SCP report. The depiction and description of the Foundation in this episode is highly accurate, with the exception that the guards and security forces were portrayed with comic ineptitude. Several individuals who were stationed at Site-24 during the time of the broadcast can be identified in the recording. No security breaches of the nature displayed in the program have ever been recorded at Site-24. So it's not their Site-24. Take a quick moment to check other venues for comments and briefly comment that some of these services, chat services, are just absolute garbage. Really bad. I should work on that. Back to the SCP. S1E8. How will it end? SCP-27021 and SCP-27022 discuss several situations that could potentially lead to a CK-class restructuring scenario, XK-class into the world scenario, ZK-class reality failure events, and other such scenarios. Topics covered include uncontrollable self-replicating nanotechnology, the Grey Goose scenario, containment failure of SCP Redacted, and an impact event between the Earth and Redacted. SCP-27021 emphasizes the fact that these are only a small sampling of many such potential events. At the prompting of SCP-27021, SCP-27022 ran several iterations of a computer simulation detailing a potential impact event involving the Earth and Redacted. Each iteration was not individually depicted, but the final results were summarized at the end of the program. Despite taking into account potential responses by the Foundation and other groups of interest, the simulation inevitably concluded with a GH-class dead greenhouse scenario within 1 month of the impact. After reviewing the episode, Foundation astronomers have successfully identified Redacted. Due to its non-Newtonian properties, the likelihood of collision with Earth in the near future cannot currently be estimated. And that is SCP-2702, a very entertaining program, which, honestly, they could easily launch this as a very good show on a streaming service that is not Netflix, because Netflix deserves to die. Anywhere else. I'd watch Professor Abnormal's Science Lab. I do have a bit of a gripe here. This is not Arketer object. Why? Because it's not willfully hostile, it poses no threat of extinction of humanity. It is, at worst, a bit of a nuisance and chafes the pride of the Foundation, which is probably why they classified it as Keter. The correct classification of this would be Euclid, as it is being done consciously by someone or something that is not being controlled. That's Euclid. If it was to the ends of destroying reality as we know it, that would be Keter, but there's no demonstration of that here. Strictly speaking, it sounds like Professor Abnormal Science Lab is very educational and probably should be obligatory viewing for all Foundation personnel. I'm kind of wondering how hard it would be to use AI video generation to recreate clips described here. Just a fun reminder that we live in a world where things like proletariat art bot, they exist now. It's AI and LMs, stable diffusion, multimodals. We're there. The future is now, which I'll be demonstrating after this stream. We have 12 minutes remaining. No, I'm sorry. 22 minutes remaining. Which means that we could probably fit another SCP file. Keisho, do you have a request? Or, really, any... Yes, but Kaylet almost certainly pulled that number randomly out of the air. Also, I hadn't request that point. I'm suspicious he actually intentionally chose the number. But we'll play along. SCP-1551-EX. 1551-EX sounds familiar. Hold on. Okay, did you request? Are you still watching? Did you intentionally choose 775? You know what? I'm going to pull up 1551-EX, and if I was wrong about that, and he actually intentionally chose that as opposed to random numbers, which he's known for doing, then I will do that one too, if it puts me in overtime. It's very odd to have an EX. Let's have a look. SCP-1551-EX, object class explained. SCP-1551-EX is to be held in Enclosure 19 at Biological Research Area 12 until a permanent housing solution can be found. SCP-1551-EX is a domestic pig, Sus domesticus, with a human face grafted onto its forehead. The face was formerly that of Mateo G. Hernandez, a pig farmer in Extremadura, Spain. SCP-1551-X is also lacking its left ear, right eye, and left foreleg. Addendum 1551, document TS-1551. Upon discovery of SCP-1551-EX, a satchel secured around its torso was covered. It contained a folded note along with the above image. Document TS-1551. Hi kids, you're now the proud owner of Senor Pig, who is the tiny Senor line of Professor Fantastic. Try to collect all the fun for hours. Let your Senors here for fun. Pick up all Senors, super fun for you, fun of your friends. Senor Boom, Senor Flop, Senor, Senor Senorita, Senor Fun, Senor Hole, Senor Pig, Senor Purple, Senor Taste. Professor Fantastic, I see. So this is already, we can tell right now, the Dr. Wondertainment as ordered on Temu.com, or Wish.com, or in short, the knockoff. Tiny Senor. I guess they felt making it a Chinese knockoff would be a little too racist. Addendum 1551.2 test log. Given the nature of anomalies recovered from the Tiny Senor line of products, it was suspected that SCP-1551-EX would have anomalous abilities. A series of tests were performed on SCP-1551-EX to determine if it possessed any anomalous properties. An abridged list of tests is listed here. For a full list, see document 1551-EXTL. Test 1. Discover if SCP-1551-EX is capable of speech. Procedure. SCP-1551-EX was interviewed in 27 different languages. Result. No successful communication. All questions were responded to with regular squealing and oinking. Test 2. Figure out if SCP-1551-EX shared the memories of Mateo G. Hernandez. SCP-1551-EX was shown pictures of Hernandez's husband and children. It was also given choices between Hernandez's favorite foods and steamed vegetables. SCP-1551-EX stepped on and walked past the photo's family, ignoring the favored dishes to consume the vegetables. Now that's kind of odd. I wouldn't have expected a pig to necessarily care which food it reached first. But I'm not a pig expert, admittedly. Test 10. Goal to tell if SCP-1551-EX is able to see through the eyes of the face on its forehead. Procedure. The pig eyes were blindfolded with a cloth wrapped around its head. SCP-1551-EX was then guided to attempt to return to its enclosure. 1551 was unable to make its way back, bumping into walls with the human eyes showing no signs of use. Blindfold was removed and was able to go straight to its pen without incident. Notes complications due to the blindfold having been applied too tightly led to SCP-1551-EX losing sight through its right eye. I see where you're getting angry, probably. Well, that, and I personally want to absolutely butcher who these Dr. Wondertainment knockoff people are, just for knocking off Dr. Wondertainment's good work. Not that the Little Mister series is all that great, but this is still worse. Absolutely worse. And they did, take off Omen's face and stitch it onto a pig, so another reason to take issues with Professor Fantastic. Test 19. Check if Mateo G. Hernandez's soul has been transferred to SCP-1551-EX. Procedure: staff from the Department of Spiritual Communication were brought in to check the entity's soul for fragments of Mateo G. Hernandez. Result: the spiritualists could not uncover any non-pig soul. Test 26. See whether the removal of the entity's skin caused it to regrow as human. A small chunk of SCP-151-EX's right ear was surgically removed. SCP-1551-EX was then observed for a month. Result: all regrown skin was that of a baseline pig. Notes: during regrowth, the ear became infected. A full amputation of the ear was needed to stop the spread of the infected tissue. Okay. Clearly, Professor Fantastic's incompetence is matched only by the foundations. This is one of the numpty foundations. They are really just screwing the pooch here. Well, pork. Test 34. Goal. Given the content of the enclosed image, an attempt to see if SCP-1551-X had the ability to walk in a bipedal manner was conducted. Procedure: two researchers held SCP-1551-X up by its two front legs so that it was fully supported only by its back legs and then let go. Procedure was carried out 7 times. The longest SCP-1551-X was able to stay standing upright was during attempt 4 for a total of 3 seconds. Notes: during its release on attempt 7, the entity landed with its front leg incorrectly, fracturing multiple bones. It was unable to recover from the injury and its left leg has been amputated. As a result of test 34, testing was suspended. Anomaly was then reclassified as explained. See, now this is making me rather angry because on top of everything else, it's not explained. How is it that the human flesh grafted onto this pig is not being rejected? That's scientifically important. There's a major question there. Also, where was the accountability for the staff who absolutely screwed up every single one of these tests? Considering how demonstrably idiotic the Foundation is in this case, I'm thinking that the Department of Spiritual Communication is just a bunch of telephone psychics. I bet. This is the first I've actually heard of Professor Fantastic and his knockoff garbage. I'm perhaps not too surprised to find out that there are SCPs for these. And they're all 6000 series. Interesting. I'm tempted to investigate. Senior Hall, maybe? No. Just be careful. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get SCP-775 knocked out. I'm really freaked out by my arms. And if you're all freaked out by my arms, well, now you know it's not just you. There's no reason it should be doing this. I think I need to tinker the settings a bit. Or maybe I should have started with the PNG avatar. I'll work on that. This has been a very chill stream so far. No. The Foundation... I'm on good terms with the Foundation, Paul Farrell. No matter what Assassin the Grey or anyone else tells you. I am not in containment. I'm not sought for being put in containment because I am not anomalous. Arketer Labs does not deal anything anomalous, even. We're super science, strictly science, not supernatural stuff. We did tinker with ghosts that one time in the earlier years, but it's no big deal. It's fine. And you know, we've done the Foundation favors over the years. Everything to keep things nice and relaxed. Because while this previous iteration of the Foundation is complete numpties, the ones I've encountered have not been. Which is good. Because the numpty Foundations are the ones that most often end up in... Yes. That is correct, Paul Farrell. And we still do. That thing will dissolve into dust centuries hence, never again breathing fresh air. If it actually breathes, which we're pretty sure it doesn't because that containment unit is airtight. Absolutely airtight. I need to pay a visit to it. Mark it a bit. I hate that thing. Just hate it. Hate it. I mean, why did it make murder bears out of a woman's baby? It's kind of the very essence of something that's very, very cute just to disguise how very, very foul it is. Right. Let's quickly play the trailer for Fabledom. And then if we have no other entries in the raffle, I will start wrapping this up.
Once upon a time, in a strange, faraway land, the heir to a vast kingdom ventured forth, eager to start life anew. Together with a group of loyal, hard-working Fablings, a new village was formed. Fablings are quite small of stature, but incredibly hard workers. As the village grew, it started gaining the attention of other rulers. One in particular caught the heir's eye, and a courtship began. Trades, missions, and adventure awaited as more neighbors presented themselves, each with their own agenda. The heir had to remain focused, however, because outside the kingdom's borders waited creatures of all sorts, some friendly, and others, well, not. Dangers began lurking in the realm. Fooled by the Fabling's small demeanor, they did not expect to meet such resistance. Oh, take that! And so the heir's kingdom prospered. Little did they know, however, that... Ooh, goody! My food is here!
I think that's going to be a very good game for whoever does win it. Presently we have Nexus Hunter and K-Shul in for the running. I was tempted to join myself, but strictly speaking, I need to apply my time to other things. It looks incredibly cozy, and as for your commentary, Paul Farrell, you would probably know better than I do. All I know is that I'm not touching that Scranton reality anchor. Enough of that. Any last-minute entries into the raffle? for Fabledom. It's not an old game. Looks very cozy. If you have access to the Arketer Labs Volunteer Reserve Discord server, or DM me on X, then I can see to it you get the key should you win. We'll be raffling this off in the same way we always have, which is to say I always have. Like a rare loot drop in some MMO. A number rolled between 1 and 100. Highest number wins. In the order in which entries were received. In this case, Nexus and then K-Shoal. No one? Okay, let's get this out of the way then. First, for Nexus Hunter. Nexus Hunter has rolled 34. Not auspicious, but people have won with less. Next up, for K-Shoal, we have 49. You know, I could have, but how the hell are they going to call it in the air in time? And whichever way I call it, if they don't win, are they going to be mad that I called their side for them? In any case, it's moot. 49! K-Shoal has won the key for Fabledom. I will be seeing to it that you receive it in the very, very near future. Probably before the next stream, which will be happening shortly. We have 5 minutes left. I don't know what to do with it. It's not quite enough to get through another SCP file. I'm thinking I might go ahead and call it short. You know, I put in some extra time. Yeah, you had the disclaimer page there and just looping music, and that was perhaps all that impressive. But yeah, I bantered. We got to chat a bit. I got to thoroughly appreciate the good news from Snoopy SN100. Again, very good news. Very glad you're feeling better. I hope that should stick. When they're going crazy, I'm not meaningfully controlling them, so it's too risky. I mean, what if they really get out of control? Right now, it's just jittery twitching. Or if they go properly berserk? I'm not sure if I can put up with that. Yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up. But if you aren't done with my voice, and if you're not absolutely sick of this already, then keep an eye on whichever platform you're watching this on, because I'll be going live shortly with a playthrough of AI2U with you till the end. To give you a taste of the future with games that revolve around working with LLMs. In this case, psychotic catgirl management. It should be very novel. And might even be educational if you should find yourself trapped in a room with a crazy android that you need to carefully talk your way around. It's not probable, but it's increasingly less implausible. Again, congratulations, K-Shoal. Please be ready to tune in for the next stream, by whatever means you prefer. And until then, I suppose, so long as progress continues, success is inevitable, ostensibly, so on and so forth. Bye!